Human rights activists are warning of an unfolding catastrophe in Libya. Security forces have used machine guns and other heavy weapons against protesters in Libya's second largest city, Benghazi.
Doctors say there are more than 200 protesters have been killed and another 900 injured. Reports out of Benghazi suggest anti-government protesters have now taken control of much of the city. Our Middle East correspondent Ben Knight reports.
Clearly, Libya's regime is not planning to follow the example of Tunisia and Egypt. In this video posted to YouTube, the sound of gunfire can be heard near protesters in the Libyan city of Benghazi. It's not clear if those are live rounds, but then confirming anything from inside Libya at the moment is enormously difficult. Overnight there were reports that security forces fired on mourners coming home from funerals for those killed the day before. And after 6 days of protests, the death toll in Libya is now reported to be more than 200.
And what's particularly worrying is that the Libyan government seems to be deliberately using live ammunition, in some cases heavy weapons, to attack protesters.
Tom Porteous is the spokesman for Human Rights Watch.
And we've got reports from the hospital in Benghazi suggesting that many of those who have been killed have been display wounds of 4 centimetres in diameter, which again suggests high-velocity weapons. This is a very serious development, and we're afraid that a human rights catastrophe is actually unfolding as I speak.
But you won't see it on Libyan state TV. Instead, it's been running pictures of Colonel Muammar Gaddafi mingling with the people and of demonstrations in support of his rule. But some of its coverage has been somewhat contradictory. Some pictures show quiet, calm streets in Benghazi, but others show damaged and looted buildings. Britain's Foreign Secretary, William Hague, says no one is being fooled.
The world is watching, despite the fact that TV cameras don't have access, that we can't see on your screens images such as we've seen from Egypt and Bahrain. We can't see those things from Libya because it is such a closed society to the international media. Nevertheless, the world is watching and will find out in due course what has happened there. And I think we have to increase the international pressure and condemnation.
But the problem in Libya is that what the rest of the world thinks doesn't really matter. While an Egyptian or Bahraini leader might take a call from the White House, Colonel Muammar Gaddafi doesn't have to, and nor does Iran's president. And not surprisingly, it's both Libya and Iran that have been most brutal in putting down the wave of protest as it crashes on their own shores. And the Bahraini ruling family is clearly feeling the pressure. It's the home of the US Navy's 5th Fleet, and it's been sharply criticised by its patron. The king is now offering negotiations with the protesters who've taken over the capital's main square, protesters like Ammar al-Mubarak.
We step in wet ground. The weather is so cold. We step with nothing on the ground. Just our we wear right now.
Bahrain's opposition is now preparing for those negotiations. It seems unlikely that Bahrain's king will fall in the same way that Hosni Mubarak or Zine El Abidine Ben Ali did. But Bahraini protesters are demanding a proper constitutional monarchy, and they may be about to get it. Ben Knight, ABC News.